June 5th. It is a day that will continue to go down in infamy for the generations affected by the Teton Dam disaster of 1976. Today is actually the 48th anniversary, and because of its impact, historians, museum curators, and even news outlets have worked to preserve the history of the people who lived through it. Our Ashley Chilcutt spoke with a couple whose wedding plans were postponed due to the flooding.
The Teton Dam was built by the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation between Fremont County and Madison County. It was completed in November of 1975, but failed as it was being filled for the first time.
We do have a very, very serious problem here at the Teton Dam. The whole north side of the downstream face, the downstream side of the dam, the whole north side is caving in. Look, there goes the whole side. There goes the whole complete side of the north edge of the Teton Dam. And the water in monumental, holy, great, what can I say? People downstream better get out.
David Taylor and his high school sweetheart Susie planned to be married on his grandparents' wedding anniversary, June 6th. But when the dam broke, that all changed.
The first thing that came to mind was scared.
We were a little distraught about it because, you know, we'd been a year's worth of planning at that point, and everything changed overnight.
While they were in Idaho Falls, out of the direct flood stream, David's family was in Rexburg at the time.
They had originally raised their family, my grandparents had, in the old Taylor house, which is the rock house that's on Main Street. That is right across the street from the Brolams. When the flood come down through there, the topsoil that was on those farms that were up there in the upper valley, it washed all the topsoil off. It just looked like a riverbed. Got done, it was just gravel everywhere. The farmers were pretty tore up over it. It took a long time for them to recover from it.
The couple did marry days later on June 11th. As you can see behind me, the Museum of Rexburg has archives documenting what happened on that day. The museum's curator, Alicia Tejan, showed me a remnant of the flood recently discovered in the historic Romance Theater.
When we were renovating the Romance in 2020, we had taken off the sheetrock, and that we saw this exposed flood line. And we knew it was a flood line because it's about the 5 feet height mark, which is what all the buildings around here had. And there's also grass and hay still stuck on the wall. We were really surprised because that just shows how sticky this mud was and how hard it was to clean off, because we're sure they cleaned the wall, but there was still residue left over.
However tragic it was, people who lived through it say the community became resilient and unified.
It was like a big team. Everybody pitched in. Wherever you could help, you helped. It didn't matter what needed done. If you was capable of doing it, you just jumped in and helped, did what you could.
As the memory of the Teton Dam disaster becomes more and more distant, the Taylors hope this history isn't lost.
I hope that the younger generation learns that by working together that we can overcome most any adversity.
Reporting from the basement of the Rexburg Tabernacle, I'm Ashley Chilcutt.
The Rexburg Flood Museum, located beneath the tabernacle, is currently closed as crews work on restoring the stone on the outside of the building. Museum staff is looking to relocate the flood artifacts to a new location. One has not been chosen.